Hey horse friends, I'm Becca Salamone and this is Southern Horse Talk, and I am on location out in Vincent, Alabama at Vogelsang Farm. And I'm sitting here in the home of Wolfgang Scherzer, and he is sitting by the fireplace. How you doing, Wolfgang?
I'm doing great.
Awesome. Well, I came out here to tour your farm, and we just did that. And just kind of find out more about you and what you've done in the horse industry. First of all, just tell us a little bit about, your history with horses, how you grew up in Germany, and how you came over here to America.
Well, it's starting way back then when I was probably about 11 years old, and I was always like the horses. We had a riding school within reaching distance on the bicycle. Back then I drove my bicycle to the riding school and just hung out, start helping out, and then they kind of gave me pocket money to come and help out for the guys that had off a day. So I took off, took on their chores on the weekends. And then we had a new trainer come into our school, name was Bernd, and he's the one that trained me. He took held his hand over my head and said, look Wolfgang, I'm going to train you if you're really interested. Never cost me. Back then in Germany it was a very, very expensive sport, for the very rich people. So it was a great opportunity for me to learn, and that's what I did. And then he said, look, you need to become a professional, and he said, there are not that many talented riders around than what you are, and he kept pushing me and pushing me and pushing me. Pushed me not just, but I also had to take dancing, ballroom dancing classes and stuff like that. He made sure I learned stuff like that, And then, when I was 19, in Germany the program is that you have to, it's an apprenticeship to become a rider. It's a 3-year apprenticeship, and but you also need to already know how to ride before you ever be taken as an apprentice, And then the first year they have something in the big, what do you call it, Landgestüt, it's where the big testings are in Warendorf. It's a little town in Germany. And they have it's kind of called an in-between testing after the first year. And that's kind of where they either tell you, look, you're wasting your time, start doing something else, or so you're doing great, keep on going.
Right.
So I did that one. They told me you're probably going to be one of the first ones that can do it with an A if you keep going that way, So you basically end up 3 years, and then it's your testings and stuff like that. And then if you want to become a master, you work for another 4 years under a certified master before you can make your masters, The testing for the rider in Germany was back then 3 weeks.
Wow.
So it was not just dressage, it was jumping, vaulting, longing, theory, and everything that has to do 3-day eventing, and stuff like that. So we learned a little bit of everything, but my biggest talent was dressage, and that's kind of what I went with, And then in '82 I got a phone call from a lady in Sarasota that actually was a German lady that moved to Sarasota, Florida, and she watched me growing up, and she watched me coming along in my career and how I started riding, and then she asked me if I'd come to Florida too, but back then I couldn't come because I was still in the army. I said, look, I can't come. They're going to throw me in jail for desertion. I said. So anyway, she said, no, that's okay, we're going to wait. So then January '83 I came to the States, Sarasota, Florida, and started riding for her, working for her, And then about 2 years later I started working on my own.
Okay. Now, kind of compare the differences between learning and training in Europe versus America, because it sounds really involved what you went through over there.
Organization.
Yes.
It's much more organized.
Yes.
That's I would say it's a big. America is such a big country. In Germany, everything, the horse world is, every little town has a riding school. It's concentrated, America is so big, you have so. Even though if you want to go and teach some people, ask you sometimes, can you come teach me at my farm? Well, that's 30 miles down the road, 30 miles back.
Right.
In Germany, it's a 20-minute car.
Exactly.
You know, so that's, I think, it's the biggest difference. Organization. You know.
Yeah, and speaking of that, and distance, you tend to travel around a lot, all over the country to do clinics. So talk a little bit about that and how you got into that, and the popularity of it.
You know, it's like back then in '83, and I don't really know how all that came along. It was a lot of word of mouth. You know, one day I got a call from Miami. He said, "Yeah, no, you know," and then from there it escalated. So I went from Sarasota to Miami, and then I moved a few times myself. You know, then people moved to, let's say, Pennsylvania or Missouri or some, you know, whatever. And all of a sudden I had all the calls coming, can you do this clinic? You know, then it went from there to Tampa, it went from there to Gainesville, you know, and then at one point I got a call from Fairbanks, Alaska, and that's the first I've gone.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how did you get here to Birmingham, Alabama, Vincent, Alabama?
Well, back then I used to live in the panhandle of Florida, and the same way, what's her name now? Pam McLean. Pam McLean and her husband, they called me. They heard about me down in Florida, and they called me if I would want to come down and teach a clinic. I said, sure. And then it was transferred over, I don't know if you remember the Dudleys, you know, so I taught a long time at the Dudleys. And then I really liked the area and already had good business here, you know, and I said, well, why not move, you know. So it was easier for me to fly out of Birmingham than out of Fort Walton Beach or, you know, Panama City. You know, so the location was a lot better for me to get to the place that I really needed to go.
Right,
Yeah.
Okay. So your specialty is really in dressage?
Yes.
Okay. And what would people say about you, you know, if, you know, unfortunately you passed away, what would they put on your tombstone about you and the horse world?
I don't know. I tell you, I can tell you one thing. I bet you anything, everybody would say I really enjoyed the ride. I really enjoyed his lessons. I really could. I would say they probably would say that he can adjust to a not so good rider as well as to a rider that's really good, you know. And everybody gets a little bit out of it, you know. So.
And so do you have, you know, horse and rider teams that go to big international competitions, or?
My wife and my stepdaughter, and now I'm training another girl on Okie Dokie, you know, trying to get her, she wants to get a medal and she's really a good rider, so I'm going to train her.
Yeah, you were telling us about some of those medals that were won, you know, when we were down the barn, so. And we saw pictures on Facebook about that not too long ago. So tell us, you know, who won what and where that was.
Mallory has been doing this now since she's 14. She's made the team for the North American Junior Young Rider Championship every year, you know. Then when was it in? Was it 14 or 15? Then Lee and Mallory became regional champions in the I-1. Both at the same championships.
That's awesome.
You know. And then my wife and my stepdaughter Mallory got the gold medal in the Grand Prix, same show, you know, same time, which they just was this winter was in Las Vegas convention.
That's so exciting. You know?
Yeah. So yeah, and Mallory with the the Young Rider Championship, she came in third out of the country. You know, that was really a good achievement for her. You know.
That's awesome.
And Okie Dokie.
Yes.
And good for me. And a proud mother.
So what would you say so far has been your greatest achievement in the industry?
Greatest achievement is probably Lee and Mallory.
That's awesome. So what are some of your goals? I mean, you've been doing this for, you said, 47 years?
Yeah, I'm doing that for a long time now.
What are your upcoming goals for, say, the next 5 years?
Keep training. You know, I'd like to get good riders. Put them out there, make them win, make them, you know, have good shows.
Yeah.
And have fun. That's the main thing. We have fun. We have to have fun doing what we're doing. You know.
That's right.
So.
Well, you know, before we started recording, we were talking about kind of, you know, technology and social media and stuff like that, and also when we were on the Polaris riding around your place, we were talking about someone who wanted to film you doing what you do. is that an avenue that you consider doing? Maybe some DVDs or some kind of
Yes.
series online?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that would be great because then you could be in all places at all times.
Yeah. That's called taking advantage of technology.
Exactly. So do you ever have shows out here at your place?
No, we don't have shows.
Okay.
No, I had clinics out here. We had Lilo 4 here. She came out and taught a clinic, or a couple of times she taught clinics here. And I've taught clinics here for the Birmingham Dressage Club there at one point, so. But other than that, we basically use it for our training, and I have people come in that want to take lessons,
Okay. Now, how would you describe the dressage community? A lot of people that I talk with, will say how family-oriented it is or not. It depends on what the association is. How is the dressage community?
Well, there are different groups in Birmingham. They really don't, they're all different groups. They don't interact much with each other, For example, when I compare it to Atlanta, the Dressage Association in Atlanta, they're great. They're having galas, they're having award ceremonies, they have shows, which Alabama doesn't have really anything like that.
Is that something that you want to see change? And
I would love to see it change. I would love to see us having a recognized show. A really good recognized show, or 2 or 3 a year.
What kind of advice could you give to the community to make something like that happen?
Well, they all need to get back. They need to get together better.
Yes.
Better organized,
Yeah. So, what's some of your favorite memories over the years in training and going to these shows?
Well, obviously it was the gold medal day, So, Mallory, of course, all the people, the clinic. I can't really pinpoint the best. It's all fun. Of course it has its bad sides too, not everybody likes you, but most of the time I get along with everybody,
Yeah.
So.
So is there one particular moment that was funny or scary that stood out in your mind?
Scary. Every time you get backed off, it's scary.
Yeah.
You take all
I agree.
with a bad attitude, But fun times. I enjoy clinics. I really have fun at clinics. People are out there and they make it nice. It's always fun. They want to learn, and they're, you feel appreciated, So it's really good.
So when people go to your clinics, all over the country, what can they expect to go through? Is it a couple of day clinic or?
2 days, usually a weekend.
Okay. And so what happens in your clinics? Is it mostly you talking and they learning and listening, or?
They're writing.
They're writing the whole time.
And of course here I have clinics. You have riders in there that they're doing training level, and then you have riders, Grand Prix riders. So you have to be able. All of the riders in the clinic paying the same money. They're working as hard as the best riders. They all need to get the same attention. But now you have to be very careful that you don't overface the young rider or the younger rider, the greener rider. We think that you can't give a mission. They can. I say, look, if you teach yours, if you work on this right now, next month or 2 months, 3 months from now, when I come back, we can step it up another notch. But that needs to be better. And then with a really advanced rider, say, look, you never get into your ladders. Your half pass is not good. Even though they think that is good, sometimes it creates friction. But most of the people, they understand that they learn to say, well, he's right. I need to be cleaner about this and stuff like that.
Right. So you're pretty upfront and just tell it like it is.
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Not in a mean way, sometimes I take it right up aside. I said, look, the whole lesson you just wrote here, I feel like you weren't even with me, or you were acting like you knew better than I am. That can't happen. If that's your attitude, then I can't work with you. And most of the time they come around and say, you're right. And then they have fun, then we get along great.
There you go. You got to establish that leadership pattern.
You got to establish, here's the basic line, So.
Now, you mentioned the letters a minute ago, and I've always wondered, do those letters mean anything in particular, or are they just letters that are chosen?
Nobody knows where they come from. I've been asked that question so many times, and I asked around myself so many times why it is MXK or FXH, you know.
Yeah, I heard that it had something to do with the building where it originated, and maybe it was like the doors or something, to where they went in and out.
Could be.
I don't know. I've always wondered that.
I don't know it either. There's a question I cannot answer, you know? And I haven't found anybody that actually can.
Yeah, well, that's the question of the day.
Even the old masters, you know, they can't. We don't really know, you know.
That's right. Well, have you written any books or articles in journals?
No, I have not.
Is that on your list of things to do?
I'm not so good in sitting down and writing, you know. Probably not.
Probably not.
Probably not.
Well, what about...
I just got into tweeting a little bit, you know, which reminds me I have to put a new tweet out.
There you go. So speaking of that, you have a Twitter account and you have your website.
Yes.
And you have your Facebook.
Yes.
Okay. Do you have anything else that folks could look
for?
Okay. No. And what's the web address that people can go find information on you?
What is it now? Wolfgang Scherzer Dressage.
.com.
.com.
Okay. And then on Facebook, what's it listed as?
What is it? This is Wolfgang Scherzer.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, is there anything else that you want to share with the folks of Southern Horse Talk?
No, I think you all have, the Southern Horse Talk is a big variation of all kind of horses, and I get Facebook messages all the time.
Yes.
I think it's a good thing. Get people talking, you know, ask questions. There was not so long ago somebody asked something I thought was pretty interesting, and it slipped my mind what it was, but it caught my eye, and I said, yeah, that's pretty cool if somebody can answer that question. Might have been the footing.
It might have been. We've had questions about footing, warmers,
right.
All sorts of things. Right now on there we've got a meet and greet where everybody introduces themselves and puts their pictures out there. And it is because, we were talking about this earlier, that the equine industry, and especially in Alabama, is so fragmented. But it's fragmented all over the place.
Right.
So one of the goals that I have with Southern Horse Talk, and of course with Alabama Horse Talk first, was to bring all these groups together and to recognize our common interest in horses and the joy of horsemanship. And so that's what I do. It's my pleasure and my passion to bring people together.
Right.
So that's why I'm here today.
Good.
All right, well, I appreciate you sharing with us, and we will put this together and put it online and get on YouTube. And folks, if you're watching this, you can click the subscribe button below and subscribe for future updates and episodes. And also, please go over to the Southern Horse Talk Facebook group and join the conversation there. Share your horse story and your pics and videos. But thank you very much for sharing with us today. We appreciate it.
You're welcome.
All right.
Everything out here was barbed wire, all the way around the outside the barn was all that new. What you're looking at. And then we took all the barbed wire down and we made those 4 pastures right there. And built a fence, and stuff like that.
So how many acres do you have out here?
Well, right now that originally was 29.8. Now we got another 14 acres right over there, we just cleared,
Okay.
So,
and tell me about the arena.
we built that 2 years ago. Summertime, We had to. We had a place to. Didn't have a place to ride except the hayfield.
Oh, okay.
So we rode the hayfield for a while. But then we start building that. Now we got a nice place to ride.
So now you can have lessons even when it's raining.
Right. Right.
And so you've been here 3 years, and what do you call this farm?
Vogelsang.
Vogelsang. Okay.
Vogelsang Farm. The name Vogelsang came up because of my hometown in close by Cologne, Germany, was called Vogelsang.
Okay.
It was a tiny little village, And a friend of mine, Anna Coley, had the idea, said, let's call it Vogelsang Farm. And I thought it was really good.
There you go.
So,
all right, well, we're going to walk in here and look at the barn.
Yeah,
Tell me about that. So you're from Germany,
yeah.
but how long have you been in America?
I came to the States in '83.
And what brought you here?
Job opportunity, which I got actually in '82, but the thing was that back then I was in the army and I couldn't leave,
Right.
But the person in Sarasota, Florida, said they're gonna wait, until I'm out of the army, and that's where I started.
Okay.
And then eventually started on my own, So.
Awesome. right, well, tell us about your barn here.
We have 8 stalls right now, and we're about to build either 4 or 6 more stalls back over there, but we're not quite sure yet how many. I think not more than 6, you know.
And do you have boarders?
No, I only have training horses
Okay,
and our own, you know. We got 3 of our own.
okay.
That's a training horse from Huntsville, really cute little Hanoverian, good horse.
And so when you get training horses in, how long do they normally stay?
It all depends, you know. I mean, I have this one right there, and this one is a training horse, Encore. She's a young one, she's 5, but I mean, very nice horse, you know.
Right.
And then we have Steven, he just came here. He's like 18 hands. Hang on a second, let me give you some more light. That's Steven.
Yeah, now we can see you a little bit better.
He's an ex-hunter, and they thought that they don't want him jump anymore, and they brought him to me to see, you know, if I can do. And actually, I think at one point he knew some dressage, you know.
Oh, really?
So, but now he's so strung out, it'll take a while to get him back together, you know. That's Papier, that's my stepdaughter's, Hayden's new jumper.
Okay,
So I think he's about 15.
pretty.
For him to learn on, you know. He looks sleepy right now.
Yes, looks sleepy.
That's Lee's Grand Prix horse, Sir Lucas. That's what she did this year. She, you know, went to the show to go. We got the gold medals this year.
That's
you know.
great.
With Mallory, which is my other stepdaughter, she rides Okie Dokie. They got the gold medal. It's the same show, the same
That's so awesome.
day, you know. So
That was recently, right? I saw pictures of that.
yeah,
on
that was
Facebook.
recent. It's not that. It was this year.
Okay.
You know. That's a little mare I had in training. The owner is being moved to Washington D.C. and she's gonna get sold.
Okay.
You know, which is actually a really nice mare, a little Trakehner mare. And
Cute.
there's Okie Dokie. That's of course ours.
Hello, Okie Dokie. So what are you doing? What
He's
is
a
that in your
character.
hand?
See,
think I'll hide.
Mallory, you know, she rode him. She went to the the North American Championships, this Young Rider Championships. She's
Oh.
with him since she's 14.
Neat.
Well, there's one missing. No, we hung him all up. Yeah.
Yeah, oh good. All right. Well, this is very nice.
Yeah, that's our barn right now. You know, so that was our feed store, right? Feed room, and that used to be our tech room, feed room, everything together. And then we added this one to it as a tech room.
That's nice. Lots of tack on the wall.
Yeah.
And there's your 14 acres you're clearing.
Yeah, I can ride you around if you get through the mud, you know. And then we added an apartment upstairs that was just a hayloft, and that's where Stephen lives now.
Okay, Stephen just works for you and takes care of
Yeah,
everything.
He works for me. So that's his
Nice.
apartment.
Very nice.
It goes all the way down, you know. So
Okay, all right, well, I guess we'll take a little ride and
take a look. I want to look at the arena.
sure.
That's what we call the party barn, but we use it for storage, basically, you know. But it was here, so it came with the place when we bought it. You know.
Then there's your house in the distance, so focus on that. Very nice home. All right, well, we're gonna go take a little ride
Yeah,
around
let's
it.
go right.